Hello. We're going to be talking about the different stages of love.
Or the different stages, Julius.
I heard that so many times.
Funny how we still look the same.
Unfortunately, this is not a performance. I didn't make the cut, but Ravi asked me to come and ask them some questions, which is also an honor. But no, we're really stoked to be celebrating 10 years of the OutSpoken, which is a long time to be consistently running workshops. So can we give it up one more time for these guys? Yeah, if you're wondering what tonight is about, it's literally celebrating 10 years, and there's going to be a lot of performances after the night, but this part is to kind of, I guess, wind back the clock and talk about their journey, because 10 years is a pretty significant milestone, which is awesome. And for those who regularly come to EQW on a Wednesday, and you're wondering what the heck's going on tonight, this is a bit different. Well, spoken word is one of the many different creative arts that we have. You know, we got music, band, vocals, art, and we've got spoken word. And spoken word, I think, has been kind of the longest running collective as part of what we're doing. So I love seeing what they're doing. They've actually gained quite a lot of, I don't want to say influence, but as they've grown, Ravi nowadays quite often finds himself on like panels, judging different spoken word competitions in that world. So it's amazing to see that just starting from like running some workshops for youth has grown into like so many different poets have come through with you guys, and you guys have put on so many different events, and now you're finding yourselves in, I guess, spaces of influence within your, I'll call it industry. So yeah, that's really significant, and I think it sets a good model for us. It's what we can do on Wednesdays with each and every single different art. So yeah, just want to say massive congrats to you guys, because 10 years is a long time. So I guess, how have you stayed the course and been consistent and run this thing for 10 years? Because that's no easy feat. So we'll start with you, Rav. Start with you, then go Julius.
When we first started, like I said, we did not know what we were doing. We literally were Googling, asking everyone, we're like, how do you run a spoken word workshop? Because like running a collective, normally you would like win a competition or something like that. Between me and Julius, we've won 0. Thanks. But yeah, no, I love it. I think for me, one of the things that kept me going was it was through a space in our youth ministry, Quippers Youth. We ran an initiative called Project X, which was like a way to trick high school students to come out on a Wednesday and on a Friday, and just like do creative arts. And I did it through dance. Not going to show off any moves tonight. Maybe Julius will, but no. And then spoken word was the one that I did last, and I loved it because someone was creating a space for me. And so when it came to running these spaces, I'm like, man, how cool is it? Someone did it for me, and I want to do it for other people so that they can learn. And I love it with spoken word that anyone can do it. It's like everyone thinks you have to be like Shakespeare. You don't. You can just come as you are, and I love how people just want to give it a go. And so yeah, Julius.
Julius, you can tell us, how did the OutSpoken actually start? You may have touched on it a little bit before, but it'd be cool for us to hear that.
I'm sure everyone here knows somebody named George David. He approached Ravi with this idea about creating this space for outspoken poetry. And this was 10 years ago. You probably heard that how many times today. But yeah, that was the original sort of conversation. Then they came and approached me, and I originally said no, because no professionals allowed. And then I ended up saying yes. Now that was a joke. I did say yes straight away because I had nothing else to do. Let's just wait for James to.
And what was your? Had you? You said you had to like Google or YouTube what spoken word actually was. But what was your kind of first experience of it like? Did you learn when you rocked up to this workshop, or had you kind of tried to start doing spoken word before you actually started this collective or this workshop? How did you actually get started?
Yeah, I participated in a few sort of workshops for Rising Voices a year before that, I think, 2012. And I just knew it as slam poetry, where you just come up and you just perform. P4CM was what introduced me to spoken word and how you can share your testimony in this creative sort of way, using wordplay, rhyme. And ever since then, I just thought, oh, this is something I'm good at. I'm good at writing. So I thought I'll give it a go. So that was my first experience with spoken word, was through P4CM. If you haven't heard of P4CM, they're this spoken word ministry that does spoken word around the world. Their events normally have like thousands of people turn up and watch. So that's sort of where I first saw it.
That's great. And what have been some highlights for both of you of the last 10 years? Because that's a long time, but what are the standout kind of highlights for you guys with the OutSpoken?
Yeah, I think for me, they usually say in slams, poetry is not the point. The point is people. And I think for me, it's been the people. Like, we've had so many people, literally, like, sometimes we run a workshop and we put it up on Facebook. Like, we had this one guy, we ran it at our church offices in 520 Queen Street, and he literally turned up, and we're like, oh, how'd you find out? He's like, oh, I was in the city doing like a coffee course, and looked at what was happening in Auckland that night and found you guys. And we're like, cool. Wow. So like random people just show up, and like it's definitely the people that's kept us going. It's not like so that we can look cool. It's so that people can come in and give it a go. And like we've had so many stories, and like Yeah,
I agree. We also have like people is the reason why, like seeing somebody like James or Benny, who used to be a part of our collective, they've had opportunities and platforms to perform spoken word at church. Shout Conference, some of our conferences that we used to run. And to think that, spoken word can sort of be on that platform, can share ministry to people like that, that's been a huge, shucks. So it's sort of been one of those things where like, okay, I wouldn't say a responsibility to use it, but sort of like, it's such a blessing to be able to share this sort of creative, with people.
That's amazing. My first OutSpoken event I went to was last year, and I'll be honest, I've told Ravi this many times, but like I wanted to be really supportive of what they're doing, but in all honesty, I wasn't looking forward to a Saturday night at the poetry. So I went along, and I was actually blown away because a lot of people got up and they said, "This is my first time performing." And they really thanked these guys for actually journeying with them and building their confidence to a stage where they were actually confident enough to get up and perform in this new art form that they'd never had known, and they discovered gifts within them that they never thought they even had. So just seeing people just really light up and come to life and discover a new gifting, I thought was just so amazing. And that's only one out of your almost 20 shows. So the amount of people that these guys have actually like nurtured from like not being confident at all to get up and actually share a part of their life, which, we're creatives, we know that's a very sensitive thing to do. I just think that's absolutely amazing. And that's what you'll see tonight as well. These people getting up and sharing such powerful stories. And that's because these guys actually build people and encourage them to step into their calling and their gifting and actually express themselves. So, yeah, can we just give another round of applause for these guys? They're absolutely amazing. And just two more questions before we get into the main event and actually see some performances. What is your advice for people maybe wanting to start spoken word, or maybe just wanting to explore a different kind of form of creativity that they may not have had before? What's your advice to actually getting started? Because as we all know, that can be quite a daunting thing. So yeah, what's your advice for doing that?
Just give it a go. I think, like I said, there's when it comes to poetry, everyone's like, you have to be like Shakespeare. But there was poets before Shakespeare, I'm pretty sure. Right? Well, we hope. Imagine being Shakespeare's English teacher, right? I'm just making up words. Just giving it a go. Literally, when people come in, they're like, I don't know how to rhyme. I'm like, you don't have to. I don't know how to do metaphors. They're like, who cares? Just like write, and like literally people will come in and like they've written, and then we're like, we always have a space where like, hey, if you want to share, you can share, and then they share, and we're like, I quit. You should be running this workshop, not me. And so like people are surprised and blown away by it, and I think like it's just an avenue to like, because creativity is like, it's telling stories, right? Whether it be music or dance, we're all trying to tell a story. And so, and I think spoken word is one way, and I think it's accessible and anyone can do it. It's just about giving it a go. And the amount of times we've like done a night like this, and people have been like, so when's the next one? I'm like, let me just plan the next 2 months out and come back to you. So yeah, just give it a go. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I listen to a lot of spoken word. I don't listen to like heaps of poetry, but I listen to a lot of spoken word, and I put myself in that space where I knew I could grow. I trusted that space we were in. It's a space where it's safe enough to share, but it's also safe enough not to share. And I kept going to those spaces, and I kept being, okay, this is the time I can share. And that's where growth happened for me, where I was just like, oh, just keep turning up.
Great. And last question for both of you guys. What do you hope to see in the next 10 years for the Outspoken?
I probably hope to look the same as I did 10 years ago. Thanks, Ravi. Didn't know that video was going up. Yeah, for 10 years, I think, definitely more growth. I already know some poets here who should be up on the stage sharing their testimony and how this sort of, so I would love to see them sort of up here, like with heaps of people that they've sort of mentored and sort of helped. And yeah, I would like to,
Yeah. Well, we got to 10 years, so, but yeah, no, I mean, like, never in our wildest imaginations will we have thought this was going to be a 10-year thing. So, but yeah, no, like again, it's the people, right? And so I think of like, again, one of my highlights would be like seeing guys that normally would be on a rugby field or a rugby league field getting up and sharing a love poem. Like that is like, if you want to see that, come out to our night. So you might see one tonight. But yeah, like just seeing people giving it a go, like, and like seeing like, I love it how we started off when we were young, we had young people, and now that we're growing, we're getting people of all ages and all nationalities and all backgrounds. And I think, we're just having lots of cool opportunities come our way, and we just, if anyone is keen to run it in a different space, whether it be out, whatever part of Auckland or around the world, let us know, because we've always wanted to, like I said, this is an accessible thing that people can use to share their story. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on 10 years for you guys. I love that you're just serving people and help people come out of their shell and discover their gift and get the confidence to perform. So yeah, here's to 10 more years of that. Give it up for these guys.